So this is Steve, and I'm here with Jack Hammer. Jack, you were recently named as the executive director for the Three Rivers Festival.
I read that in the paper.
Yes. Same place I read it. No, I'm just kidding. This was your first year for involvement with the festival. Am I right on that?
Well, it was. I actually, on and off throughout the years, have been involved either as a broadcaster for so many years. I think Billy and I were the only event on the river. You know, we broadcast every morning for many years when I was at the Bear, live from the confluence of the Three Rivers, and right here, basically, not too far from where we are. And then we would help out on the entertainment committees and stuff like that. But this year, I found myself a little bit more involved and working with the entertainment committee. Then, I found myself in some other situations, either trying to help out or sticking my nose in.
Okay. Now that you've got the position, do you have any plans for maybe things that you want to change or things you'd like to maybe try in the future?
Well, yeah, surely. I think there's a lot of things. I mean, there's so many things that are done right with the festival. I think there's some events that we can take a look at that have been done in the past, make sure we're doing them as good as we can. Mm-hmm. We need to spend our money wisely. I mean, with entertainment, we need to make sure we're doing the best things. We can surely have national acts there, but we have to do that partnering with radio and stuff like that to be able to get those acts at a reasonable cost, but also to continue to bring Fort Wayne the very best of regional and local music, and trying to make it less really about less about Loverboy, more about the Three Rivers Festival and this community partying together.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, or what were some of your favorite events from this year?
Well, of course, the parade. And I've been in so many parades over the years that it actually felt weird, being in charge, but not being in the parade. The parade's always one of my favorites, because if we talk about Fort Wayne and we talk about this festival being a festival of Fort Wayne, well, there you get to see everybody. When you're going down Main Street, people, calling out your name, and they're stacked 8 and 10 deep on the sidewalks, and little kids with flags and smiles and waves and all that kind of stuff. That's most definitely one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. And then I really enjoy, things as small as Art in the Park, just being able to walk through with my family, with my wife, and look at all the great stuff. I enjoy the entertainment. As you can tell by my waistline, I've always enjoyed Food Alley. I think I'm kind of a child of the festival. And, there's things I really, really do like, and things that I would like to see in the future is maybe having a real strong base of volunteers and just trying to refine those things. We can't make everybody happy. People come to us and say, I want the raft race, and I say, okay, if you want to get in the river, you first. I think today they were just talking, they were saying that they go, now don't be worried right now, because the river's kind of low, so the runoff that usually goes to the bottom kind of looks like oil on top right now, but they're pretty sure it won't hurt you. Well, there's a lot of liability and also a lot of things in that river that maybe we just don't want people falling off 50-gallon barrels with a piece of plywood tied to. Mm-hmm. So, there's things that we can't do, but there's most definitely things we can do in and around the rivers to help the Three Rivers Festival. More events that we can think of. And there's just great things out there. If you haven't been to a bed race, you need to come on down to a bed race. That's always a great time.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there are some things going on kind of behind the scenes right now with the city and the county as far as the rivers and cleaning them up and making them more user-friendly, I guess you could say. If that happens and things are really cleaned up, do you think maybe doing some more river events? Or?
Well, I think you're gonna see more river events this next year.
Okay.
But I think things... driving a pontoon up and down this river for many years, I knew that, and the water level changing so much, I could go buy something and 2 hours later go back the other way, or at the end of the day, and find myself lodged on top of a large piece of concrete. There's going to be a lot of work that has to get done. But, I really kudos to folks like Halls, that now have the dock, the restaurant right there on the river, and to more people putting money into restaurants and shopping and stuff along these rivers, because they are beautiful. They just need that care taken.
How would you rate this year's festival?
100%, 100%, 150%. No, I think things went very well. I think they're in the minds of the people here in Fort Wayne. There was some bad press early in the year. We had some ground we had to regain there, and some trust we had to make sure that we had with our sponsors and with Fort Wayne as a city. I think the festival did a great job. It came back strong from the smiles of the kids and the waves and the thank yous and all that stuff, which when somebody says thank you, I take that thank you for all the volunteers and all the staff members and board members that work so hard. I think you did very, very well. And it also showed us, the people that work with the festival every day, how important that is in people's hearts. How important this festival is to them, enough that our sponsors will step up, and also that people will come down and enjoy all these events we have to offer.
Do you think you have a pretty solid foundation at this point to go forward into the next 10 years?
Wow, 10 years.
Or 20 or a few years down
I would
the
go
road?
more like a decade at a time. You
Sure.
know what? I really think that we've learned some things as a festival. We got a lot of new faces on the board. I think there's a lot of people that want to do things right. And, right now we're celebrating our 42nd year. I would like to, have my kids down here someday, celebrating the 84th year, saying my dad used to, that would be fabulous. And I think as long as Fort Wayne can come together as a community, as long as we understand the most important things, and the most important things are about celebrating us as a community and family, and all those things that come together, then this festival will last. There was a time when this festival was becoming beer tents and a lot of arrests, and we've turned the corner from that, and we've come into something that can be fun for everybody. Great rides, great music, art events, all the kind of things that the community and as a whole usually takes advantage of, but we can bring them together all in 1 week.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I learned about you, on kind of a personal note, is that you used to be in a band. I knew you from the Bear, I think it was.
Yeah,
if I
from Bear
remember
for many
correctly. But I know one day I think you got up and maybe played some guitar for warm up and mic checks. But
oh yeah, that was actually actually a good story. That I did the sound check with the Dive Kings, which I originally, when I booked them, thought they were a tribute act to Fort Wayne TV legend Dave King, who used to work on 15 years ago. I was kind of disappointed to find out they were just the Dive Kings, though I was not disappointed by the music. I joke. All good friends of mine, and I went up and I tried to fill in for Gio in the sound check, which after the sound check, Brian Lamert, the singer and guitar player for the Dive Kings, reminded me. He said, "Hammer, I am so glad that you did that sound check with us, man, because it just really lets us know how much we need Gio." And no, I have a ball doing that stuff. I currently don't play in a band out, though the Elvis and Hammer band played forever. You can hear me every week at Cross Point Community Church, but playing out, that's something I'd like to do. Maybe since it's settled down a little bit and I'm, not on the air all the time and having to do all the things that a radio guy does, maybe you'll see Jack Hammer and the Trained Monkeys reappear and in a bar someplace, or we'd love to do some music and just have a ball doing it.
Okay. I guess my point with that is that you do have quite a few contacts in the music world here in Fort Wayne, that there is a thriving, I don't know what you would call it, thriving
community?
local art scene.
Yeah. There sure is, and that's something that we can't ignore. I mean, some people will say, "Oh, why didn't you bring, Twisted Sister back? That was my favorite band." Well, those cost a lot of money, a lot of speculation, and we're trying to play it a little closer and make sure that we're thrifty with that cash that Fort Wayne has spent with us and left with us to make sure we do the best things with. And when we have such great bands, start with Pink Droid right here in the area, and the Tone Junkies, and Todd Harold, and the Dive Kings and Brother, and I'm going to leave somebody out. They're also very talented. And you know what? It's really nice to see them on a big stage. So many times we see them at Bill's or wherever we might see him on a tiny little stage, kind of squeezed in. It's really nice to see him on these stages and also really get a taste of the talent that we have here in Fort Wayne.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add? Anything I left out?
Well, I'd like to thank everybody that came down and attended Three Rivers Festival this year. And I just invite everybody now. And we're here. You can reach us at trfonline.org. If you have questions, you can reach me at hammer@trfonline.org. I'd love to answer your questions. I'd love to talk with folks and find out, their favorite memories of the festival, things that they would either like to see or haven't seen, or an idea they may have that they think is kooky, but they'd like to share it with us. We'd love to talk with them. And then, you know what? We're 330 some days away from next year's festival. We invite everybody down because it is a big celebration, and I do promise you this, that it will be bigger and better than ever.
Well, Jack, we thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yep.